1 million coders program. Now, we announced that that was a pilot. The intention was to understand how that training will go, what the reception will be, how the graduates will be transitioned, because this is not just any project. We needed to ensure that we did it right. And so at that day, we announced that we're launching the project, but we're starting with a pilot. The intention was to have 500 beneficiaries across 4 regional training centers: Accra, Kumasi, Sunyani, and Bolga. We were shocked and overwhelmed. We intended to train 500 people in the pilot. We had almost 94,000 applications in 48 hours. We had to shut down the portal because it just was unrealistic. In the long run, we trained almost about 1,000 people in the pilot program. We've looked at their progression, we've looked at completion rates, we've looked at all of that, and there's been a team that sat down to look at this. So yes, people have raised questions about, we applied, but we haven't heard anything. It's simply because the team was assessing all the issues, and we've worked with academia as well. There's been an implementation committee that's trying to do a baseline study, so that when we're done with the 4 years of President Mahama's 1 million coders, we can do a report to the country that doesn't just say we trained 1 million people, but says that we trained 1 million people. This is the demographic. These are the age brackets of the people we trained. This were their employment statistics. Were they already employed? Were they unemployed? Were they underemployed? Then post the training, what happened to them? Did they have employment mobility? Did they move up? Because this whole program is not just about ticking a political box and saying we've done this. It's about skilling, reskilling, and upskilling the next generation of Ghana's ICT professionals. And so we're working very closely with UG Business School on this, led by Professor Ebo Texan of UG Business School, who is running some baseline study for us. We've seen the report. We set up an implementation committee. The ministry is flagship for the president in terms of implementation, but the ministry is implementing through a support of a number of agencies. One of our lead agencies is the Ghana Investment Fund for Electronic Communication, GIFEC. And so you had the deputy administrator of GIFEC, who is present here, Nana, lead a team from GIFEC. So within GIFEC, there is a 1 million coders implementation team led by the deputy admin, who then sits at the ministerial level in that committee. Then you had Kofi Annan as well, having a team, and led by the Deputy Director General, who's not here at the moment, lead that team and be part of the implementation. Then you had Ghana Digital Centers Limited, also being part of the implementation, led by the Deputy Executive Director of the Ghana Digital Centers Limited, also serving in the team. Then there were directors from the ministry, and that implementation team was headed and led by my able Deputy Minister, the Honorable Mohammed Adam Subaru. In fact, it was on one of the assignments of the team up north, inspecting locations for the training, that the unfortunate incident of his accident happened. That accident happened in service, active service to our motherland, and we are grateful to God that today is back hale and healthy, fully on his feet with us. But today is a culmination of almost 8 weeks of intense work by that ministerial team led by the Honorable Adam Subaru. We've had to sit down, reevaluate the entire process of learnings from the pilot, and that's what is taking us time. We are confident that by the end of April, let's give ourselves, say 1st of May, the program will kick off fully across the country. This is phase 1 of the rollout. In this phase 1, we're rolling out in 130 learning centers across the country. 130 learning centers across the country. These 130 learning centers are in each of the 16 regions. So in each of the 16 regions, we've got learning centers. We've got, in the Ahafo region, we have 4 centers. In Ashanti, there are 3. In Bono, there are 7. Bono East, 8. Central Region, 9. Eastern Region, 4. Greater Accra Region, 24. Northeast, 3. Northern, 11. OT, 4. Savannah, 7. Upper East, 11. Upper West, 7. Volta, 14. Western is 9. And then Western North is 5, bringing you to 130 learning centers. Now for each of our learning centers, we're going to be deploying, for a start, 50 laptops that have been customized for the purposes of the 1 million coders. So it means that if you do the simple mathematics, today we'll be distributing approximately 6,500 laptops out of our current stock, which I've announced already is 20,000 laptops that we hold. Now, apart from that, and the main learning centers, we're also working very closely with academia. As part of the processes of rollouts, working with the Honorable Minister for Education, I had a meeting with all vice chancellors of all public and private universities last year to discuss the possibility of rolling out this on our university campuses as well. So like I said, it's a lot of work that we've been doing in the background to get to today's position. For a start, in this phase 1, we're going to be rolling out in 12 universities. We'll be rolling out this first phase in 12 universities. In the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, my alma mater. In the University of Ghana, they just came back from the moon. The University of Mines and Technology, the University of Development Studies, and the University of Cape Coast. Other universities we'll be dealing with are the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, the Ghana Communication Technology University, the University of Education Winneba, the University of Health and Allied Sciences, University of Professional Studies Accra, the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in Sunyani, no, that's in Somalia, and University of Energy and Natural Resources in Sunyani. Now, as part of rolling out 1 million coders, we've had to work with the private sector because government is unable to fund the entirety of the project. And we're grateful to one of our partners who have shown very good faith with us, MTN Ghana. MTN Ghana, at the group level, immediately signed, in fact, we're one of the first private companies to sign an MOU with the ministry on the 1 million coders. I'm sure some of you in the media reported and have seen the report that MTN supported us with about 2 million, equivalent of about $2 million US. We've decided that what we will do is use that to get equipment that will be specially used in some of the universities we are partnering with. So the KNUST, the University of Ghana, University of Mines and Technology, University of Development Studies, and University of Cape Coast are going to be getting equipment. So that equipment, that amount is given as about 2,000 laptops. And so those 2,000 are being split across the 5 universities I've mentioned. The other 7 universities will be getting their quota from the government stock holding. But we want to put on record that we are extremely grateful to MTN for supporting us. And to the 5 universities, you should also join us in extending our gratitude to MTN for their support. But that does not mean that all the computers you will get will only be the MTN project. The government of Ghana will also be augmenting whatever will be given to you out of the MTN's 2,000, because we'll be deploying more than 2,000 in the universities as well. But we're very grateful to MTN for standing with us and believing in the vision of the Reset Ghana agenda. And so today, we are excited at where we've gotten to. The laptops are going to be giving out, and I see the 16 regional managers of GIFEC in the room. I celebrate you. These gentlemen and ladies have not slept in the past few weeks. We've really pushed them to their limits to ensure that they physically inspect every one of the 130 centers to ensure that the centers are well equipped and ready for the rollout. We believe, working with Kofi Annan, that sometime next week we will officially reopen the portal. Now, this is critical. I indicated that about 94,000 people applied in that short window. Everybody who applied and couldn't make it into the pilot, you have your login details. We have migrated all of that onto the platform that we're going to use. So you don't need to reapply. All you need to do is go on, log in with your credentials, and it will take you straight to the course selection part of the process. For those who did not apply previously and are now going to apply, they will now have to submit their detail and go through the application process. Next week, the ministry and Kofi Annan will engage the media and walk you through the entire portal process. The entire admission process will take you about 6 minutes to complete, from entering your details to verification. Because again, let me say that the Kofi Annan, the young men at Kofi Annan, the ICT professionals that we have at Kofi Annan have done a fantastic job. Yesterday evening, I saw the fact that they did a presentation to me of what they've done. It's surprising that in the last application round, the pilot process, we had almost 40,000 fake applications. When I say fake applications, people applied, went on to apply, but just entered wrong emails that do not work, basically just clogging the system. So the guys have worked around that. Now we are having a verification. So when you register, an OTP will be sent to your email before you are even allowed to continue the process, so that we can cut out the spam and make sure that only people who are serious about benefiting from this get in. We're doing integration with the NIA as well, because you will submit your Ghana card details so that we can verify the identities of the persons who are going through this process. Because like I said, we're going beyond just training you to making sure that we create an outlet for our graduates. And that's where the Ghana Digital Centers comes in. They run our innovation hubs. And so we're working with II Africa. We signed an MOU with an agency called II Africa that's agreed to take 100,000 of our graduates and place them in remote job and work. Yesterday, I met with the Chamber of Business Outsourcing organizations in Ghana, BUSAG, and they are also looking to take out another 100,000. So for us, it goes beyond just training the people, but after training the graduates, where do they find work? And so it's a whole pipeline, and that's why we need to take all the detail we are taking so that we can monitor the progress of our citizens and properly account to the Ghanaian people and to our corporate partners for the investments that they are making in this 1 Million Coders project. I can assure you that under the leadership currently at the ministry, we will not fail His Excellency the President and the people of Ghana. We are diligent and taking our time to ensure that this is done in a way that is going to benefit us. Our hope and aspiration is that within a year of rollout of today, our university should be in a position where not just your ICT students, but literally all university students will have equipped you enough to have the labs that will allow all university students take one course or the other. This should become the new ComSkills, because actually in the AI world, an AI certification is actually your way of communication. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for your patience with us.